Today, I'm going to dive into LED Christmas lights. I know a lot of people absolutely hate them, but I'm going to show you why I think they have a lot of benefits. So let's go check them out. I know everybody knows that LED lights use a lot less energy, something like 70 to 90% less. So we're not going to get into that. However, LED lights are supposed to last longer. For the most part, I find that they do last longer. If you buy some really cheap LED lights, they're gonna last probably just as long as an incandescent light, and so you're not going to get many years out of it. So there's ones I've purchased from, Lowe's or Home Depot, and they only last one season. However, I have sets that I've purchased from contractors online, and they have lasted for 10 years now, and I have them outside all winter. So most of the lights I'm gonna talk about, I've purchased from online contracting companies. And so they've had really high quality for me. So one of the coolest things about LED lights is there's so much variety with them. You can put a bunch of little diodes into one bulb, and then you can change colors. So right here I have a Christmas tree, and I have a set of WW RGB lights. So they have white, warm white, red, green, and blue lights, and you can basically make the whole rainbow with these. If you press the button with a little remote that I have, you can change these to any color that you want, and this does a really good job of mimicking the colors. So you can have a lot of fun with LED lights. I know there's another brand that I have that's called Twinkly, and they can do mapping, and you basically take a picture of your tree and it'll show where every little bulb is, and it basically turns it into a TV screen. You can write on it, you can color on it, you can change the colors, you can do movement on it. So I have those outside on my house, and they work really well. They take a little bit of time to set up. And another cool thing I'm starting to see with LED lights is lights like this. These are LED, but they're starting to mimic more of a traditional light. So these are LED lights that are in glass bulbs that I have behind me. And so if you like the LED benefits of less electricity, but you do like the glass bulb look, there is a brand, Tru-Tone, that makes bulbs that are glass with an LED version. And so these are really cool. And so I have some of these behind me, and you can see they basically look like an older incandescent light, but they're LED. Starting to get more variety of lights for LED, which is really cool, and they're kind of coming back around to what traditional Christmas lights looked like. So these are the lights I have on the tree, so you're used to LED lights being these little mini diodes, and then they kind of light up and they don't have the traditional look. So let's go outside, and I'm going to show you some of the different types of LEDs that I have on my house. So now that we're outside, I'm going to go through some of the different types of LED lights that I have. Some of them I like and some of them I don't like. So we're going to start with just a basic LED colored light set. These colors aren't even very well done. They're kind of bright and harsh to look at. There's orange, red, green, and blue. So they're kind of decent colors for a strand. Probably want yellow, but you can tell these are 60 hertz right away because I can just see the flicker when I'm looking at them. So they kind of hurt my eyes just to look at. So I have these. I probably bought these a while ago. I don't actually use them too much. But if you're just looking for something cheap, easy, put on your house, this is what you get. They definitely look like LED lights, but these aren't going to cost you much to run. One cool thing is LED lights can make what are called fairy lights. And so these ones are a string, and you can do anything with these lights. And because they're LED, they'll change colors with this little remote that it has. But there's basically little LED diodes on this, I believe to be copper wiring. And you can twist them around branches. You can make a lot of cool things with stuff like this. So this is very versatile. If you have those wire outdoor deer and stuff, and you want to wrap them, or if you have a tree and you want to wrap them, which is what I've done with these. I've wrapped a tree in them before, and they look really cool. Sticks, but they're so versatile and they wrap really well. So if I wrap it around my finger, very cool. So these are a lot of fun. I have a lot of different varieties of fairy lights that I use for different things. Some small trees I'll wrap around. Another light that I really like are these Snowfall tube lights. And so they hang in the trees that I have outside, and this make it look like it's snowing down the tube. So these are 12 inches long, and these are just cheap ones that I bought from Target. They work well. They have a thin little wire. They're okay. They're kind of bright, and they're kind of spaced every 12 inches. But I have bought commercial ones, and that's what these are. And look how much bigger they are than the Target version. And these screw into a C9 socket. So you can have them be as close or far apart as you want. This is 12 inches long, and then I have a 3 foot long. See, this one is huge. And when you have a huge tree, these look a lot better because you're not close. This will look really tiny from far away. Even this 12-inch one will look kind of small. These are a pure white light, but if you want like a really impressive snowfall tree, then you can buy one of these. Except this one piece cost about as much as these, so I don't have too many of the 3 foot long ones. I kind of buy 3 or 4 every year, so over time we're getting more. But these are one of my favorite things that you can do with LED lights, is you can just do little motion and movement with them that you can't do with an incandescent bulb without a lot more work. These are all just built in, ready to go, plug and play. So here are some LED lights that are trying to look a little bit more like the incandescent light. They basically have the little LED diode in there, and then they have a plastic cover on top. So it's not glass, it's plastic. But these ones don't look bad. These are not the harsh white. These do have a little bit of a yellow tone, warm white to them. But these ones do flicker. I mean, if you look right here, I mean, you can really see that flicker. So some of it's the camera, some of it's just the light, which I can just tell by looking at it when I'm moving it. You see little spaces. So one thing that bothers me. But these are nice. These have a nice color to them. I like the color on these. And if you're not moving them or you're putting them somewhere static, I think they work better outside, in my opinion, than putting them on my Christmas tree. I want the less flicker on my Christmas tree inside my house. These ones work well, but as you can see, there's the difference between LED and then an LED where they're trying to give it the classic Christmas light look, which I do like that look. Here are some kind of C9 knockoff twinkly lights. They're supposed to look like a bigger C9. And this is what you really get on the inside, is one little weak diode sometimes. So unless you buy professional lights, you're getting one diode in there. Some professional lights, Minion, they have 3 or 4 diodes on the inside, so they're much brighter. These can do multiple colors. These are twinkly lights. These are really cool. They're not set up right now, but if you see twinkly lights, that's what is on the inside. Just one little diode. It's basically just a Christmas light that they put a ball around. So these are actually not very bright unless you get a commercial grade version. So now let's talk about how lights have improved in the last, 10 years. One of the disadvantages when they first came out, at least for me, is you couldn't really dim them. So sometimes they would just be too bright. But now I have found that a lot of dimmers work with LED lights, and I have a video where I was trying different LED lights, putting them on dimmers, but I think that's really helpful because sometimes you don't want them as bright as they really are. Another benefit of LED bulbs is they are safer, especially when you have bulbs like this. These are glass bulbs, and if you ever have touched an incandescent glass bulb, it will burn you even after 30 seconds of being on. So these have been on for quite a while now, and these are cool to the touch. And I know you've probably messed with just normal LED Christmas lights. These ones never get hot. So they'll stay on your tree. You know, you probably should turn them off because it's safer. But I leave mine on all night, and I feel safe enough knowing I'm not going to burn down my house. Probably be the electrical fault if something happened of me plugging in too many, then instead of one bulb getting too hot. I will say that when you have these little bulbs like this, they are more durable. I have not broken any of these small bulbs, especially if you get these nice brands that are all one piece, because you're not going to get dust, you're not going to get water in there. And these are the ProChristmas brand that I've purchased from Christmas designers. But they're just one solid piece of LED strands, and I put these on my trees outside, and I've had sets of these on for, like I said, 8-10 years, and I haven't broke any of them. Well, one I broke because I was pulling it off the tree and I ripped it, and after 8 years, UV will destroy the wire. So the lights itself was fine, but wires, you know, they will fall. These ones are really thick, so these should last quite a while. But these did cost like $12 or $15 a strand. So these were not cheap, but if I can get 10 years out of them, I will be beyond ecstatic. And with my experience with the other brands from ProChristmas, I've gotten 10 years out of them, so I'm not worried about that. When my house has 5,000 to 6,000 Christmas lights on it, my electric bill with LED lights barely even goes up. And so I don't really even worry about my electric bill. It's still cheaper electric bill than it is in the summer when I have air conditioning running. Alright, everybody has seen LED Christmas lights when they're driving down the road. It's on most houses now because of the benefits of it being cheaper and they're just readily available. But you know an LED light when you see it because the white can be harsh. They can just be too blue, too bright. And so that is one thing that personally I don't like, and I know a lot of people don't like. They are getting better. These lights that I have here have that WW, which is white, but it also has a warm white. So you can change it to a lower Kelvin. And so these lights have an option to be a little bit more of the older vintage Kelvin look, but they're still LED. You know, so you can still tell, I think, that they're not incandescent, but they're getting close enough that it's getting better. So I know a lot of people avoid LED lights for that reason, and I admit I have to find ones that I like. I'm not just gonna go buy the harsh bright lights that sometimes look like a street light to put on my house, because you can tell the difference. I like a little bit of the orange glow that you're getting with the incandescent look. It's becoming easier to find as more companies are realizing that people like the warm glow of Christmas lights because it kind of brings back what we all remember Christmas lights looking like. So the light quality is getting better over time. I think in the last 10 years, that's one of the biggest changes that I've noticed, is that first all the lights are just harsh and they're getting better. And so thankfully more companies are putting time and effort into getting rid of that harsh LED look. Another downfall is LED lights just are more expensive. There are cheap versions you can find, especially they come out around Christmas, but they're still only gonna last you a year. And so, I mean, at that point you could buy incandescent ones for about the same price, but those are gonna cost more to run, but you're not getting the full benefit. And so some of these ProChristmas ones that I have can be between $10 to $15 a strand, but I've had them last for 8 to 10 years, like I've said. So definitely an investment up front if you're planning on buying a lot. And as someone who covers my house in lights every year and has started a little bit later in life, I'm buying lights that are better quality. So companies are starting to come around to recreate vintage bulbs. These are glass bulbs made by Tru-Tone using LED filaments to have a vintage look but use a lot less power because they're LED. So LED is becoming even more versatile. Another downside to LED bulbs is flickering, and I just can't stand flickering. I know a lot of people can't either. It can create headaches, it creates a lot of problems. I think there's even some studies that it does create headaches for people. So the flicker is from LED bulbs turning on really fast. We use 60 hertz over here in the United States, and when you're using a flicker rate that low, you can see the lights turning on and off. Maybe not with your bare eyes, but if you like move or put something around it and move your hands around, you will see the flicker. So now they have full wave lights that I really like, and I think those are about 120, which basically double. And so that makes it even less flickering. At that point, you can still see it if you wave your hand in front of it, but you won't notice it as much when you're walking around or have it on a Christmas tree. I'm not exactly sure what these are, but I don't see a lot of flicker on these, so these aren't too bad. But I am sensitive to LED flickering, and so I don't like it. I know a lot of people don't like it, and so that is a very good reason why some people just won't use LEDs, and so I fully understand that. I think they work better outside, but sometimes you can still even see it when you're driving down the road and you see it out the corner of your eye on a house or on bushes, some cheap, basically cheap lights, that the flickering will kind of feel like a stutter of some sort out the side of your eye with the lights. So I prefer to buy full wave lights now where the flicker is fairly minimal, because I really can't stand it. So now we're gonna go put some C9 Tru-Tones on the roof, because those are the only C9 LEDs that I have, and we'll put some incandescent up there with it just to see how they look. LED can look really nice outside, so let's go put them up. So right here we have LED lights on the house. They look really good. So LED lights have come a long ways. These don't have the white harsh like some LED lights. So these are LED lights that I really like on a house. But real quickly, I'm going to change half of them to incandescent bulbs, and let's see if we can tell the difference. So here we have incandescent and here we have LED. As you can see, it's very hard to tell the difference. All right, I have replaced half of these with incandescent bulbs. So is it this side? Or is it this side? Honestly, I have a hard time telling even when I'm standing underneath of them. So all of them from right here is an incandescent bulb. These are all incandescent, and right here are all LED. So as you can see, LED have come a long ways. It's pretty cool. I prefer LEDs, especially if you're further away, you can't tell at all. And the light coming off of them is about the same. So they might be, you know, a tad bit brighter than the incandescent. These bulbs are 8 inches apart, I believe. They add a little bit more cost because you need more bulbs per run. When you're just using LED, you're gonna get a lot less power. So there's a lot more power being used on this side of the wire than this side. But they look pretty much the exact same. You probably can't even tell on camera. So thanks for watching, and follow along. We have a lot more Christmas lights to put up. Have a great evening.